Today we're going to be talking about football legends who are absolutely trash as a manager. I'm talking about Henry, Maradona, Pirlo, Rooney, guys who are world class on the pitch, but off the pitch didn't know the difference between a billy goat and a nanny goat. If you don't know the difference between a billy goat and a nanny goat, a billy goat is a male goat and a nanny goat is a female goat, for all you dumbasses. Anyways, let's start off with the poster boy of trash managers, Gary Neville. When Gary Neville took over Valencia in 2015, they were only 5 points off of the Champions League spot. They just sacked Nuno Espirito Santos and somehow decided to bring in Gary Neville. But how did a man who never coached a senior team before and didn't even speak the language of Spanish, how did he end up with a job like Valencia? Well, you see, the owner of Valencia and Gary Neville were actually business partners. So the owner basically said, F it, let me hand over the keys to Valencia to Gary Neville and his brother. And from the start, you can see that this shit would not work. In his first ever game in charge, Valencia lost 2-0 in the Champions League group stage, which in turn made them go to the Europa League. Then came the real embarrassment, the real humiliation, the real disgustingism. On February 3rd, 2016, Valencia will lose 7-0 away to Barcelona in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final. Not on aggregate, but the first leg. How do you lose 7-0 in the first leg of a game? Over his time in charge, Gary Neville managed to get them eliminated from the Europa League. He dropped them from 5 points of the Champions League to 6 points off of relegation. Out of the 16 games in charge, he only managed to win 3 games and not keep a single clean sheet. Not a single clean sheet. Of course, of the nonsense he was doing at Valencia, he was sacked, and because of the trauma Barcelona gave him, he actually quit managing in totality. He said he's never ever gonna manage ever again. Now he found his talent in punditry, where he criticizes other managers for something that he couldn't do, which is honestly funny as hell. Next up, we have Andrea Pirlo. Pirlo played with pure elegancy as a player on the pitch, but off the pitch as a manager, he managed with pure assness. Ladies and gentlemen, Pirlo was one of those Neville babies who were in the dugout purely because of his name. Now let me explain. Does anyone remember how Pirlo got the Juventus job? Does anyone remember? If you don't remember, I'll explain. After retiring in 2017, he took a 3-year break from football. Then out of nowhere, he pops up to manage Juventus under 23s on July 30th. Just 9 days later, without managing an under 23 game, he gets the biggest promotion of all time. He becomes Juventus head coach. Just 9 days. He doesn't even manage a single under 23 Juventus game. And not only that, he doesn't even have all his coaching badges. He literally had to take the exam 4 days before his first ever Serie A match. If that's not favoritism or nepotism at its finest, I don't know what is. And now, to be fair to Pirlo, he actually started off better than Gary Neville. He actually won his first match, beating Sampdoria 3-0. Unlike Gary Neville, he got Juventus to the Champions League knockouts, only for them to get dumped out by Porto thanks to the stupid away goal rule. I'll tell you what, that game, I saw prime Cristiano Ronaldo. Too bad his teammates were trying to lose him that game. After that UCL exit, it was all downhill. Even though he picked up 2 trophies in his first season, the team looked lost. They almost missed out on top 4. If you watch Juventus All or Nothing, you could see that he didn't really have control over the dressing room. He was basically acting like one of the players instead of acting like a coach. He was one of them. He didn't demand the respect, and you could see it in the dressing room. After that season, Juventus officially sacked him, and then he went on to coach a Turkish team called Fatih. I can't say that last name to save my life. To be fair to Pirlo, it wasn't all bad at Juventus. He did win 2 trophies in his first season. But honestly, he did well there. He managed to survive a whole year at a Turkish club. That's honestly impressive. After that, he went on to manage Sampdoria, who were in Serie B, which is karma, because if you remember, that's the first team he beat in his first ever managerial career in Serie A. Funny how the world works. Anyways, in his first season there, he finished 7th, but somehow he managed to escape unemployment and they kept him in the job after an abysmal season. But in August 2024, unemployment would finally catch him after not winning a single game in his first 3 matches. Now, he's unemployed. Dread it, run from it, unemployment will always catch you. So as you can see, he's not exactly setting the managerial world on fire. Just another big name thrown into a hat without any much to show for it. And now let's talk about Maradona, one of the greatest players to ever touch the football, an absolute icon on the pitch, but off the pitch as a manager, oh boy. Maradona managing was basically watching your talented but chaos uncle try to coach a Sunday league team. The man was pure vibes, pure chaos, and no tactics. He started out coaching small clubs in Argentina, and then in 2008 somehow landed the Argentina national job. Yes, the Argentina national job. This man who never managed at the top club or really proven anything as a coach, but because he was Maradona, they handed him keys to the national team. And to be fair to him, he is Maradona. I'll hand him the keys any day of the week too. The players loved him, the fans loved him. How could you not love Maradona as an Argentinian? It's a national law. But loving the coach, it doesn't mean you're going to win anything. His tactics were all over the place. One one game they'll play 4-4-2, the next game they'll line up like it's a FIFA Ultimate Team experiment. Sure, they qualified for the 2010 World Cup, but barely, and when the tournament came around, they were actually pretty decent until they ran into Germany, and then they got banged, demolished, dismantled by 4-0 Germany. Thomas Muller would send Maradona's Argentina packing, and that would be the end of his run as an Argentinian manager. After that, he'd bounce around random clubs. He coached in Mexico, where he spent more time screaming on the touchline, taking cocaine. The man was doing cocaine live for everybody to see. Live! 4K! 8K, matter of fact. He would do that then actually start coaching. He even managed clubs in the UAE. The truth is, Maradona was more of a motivational mascot than a real tactical manager. He was there for the passion, the headline, the drama, and honestly, that's exactly what you would expect from Maradona. An absolute legend with the ball at his feet, but when it comes to the clipboard, I'd rather trust Mustafi to write me a good game plan than Maradona to write me a game plan. Just another example that greatness on the pitch doesn't automatically mean greatness on the sideline. Now let's talk about another all-time legend, Thierry Henry. Now, to be fair to Thierry Henry, him being on this list is low-key kind of disrespectful because tactically I believe he's way better than these guys. But as a coach, as a man manager, this guy lacks in that department. Let's talk about Thierry Henry. One of the most elegant attackers ever, an Arsenal legend, a Barcelona star, a true icon, but as a manager, not quite the same story. Thierry Henry's first coaching gig came in 2018 when he first took over Monaco. You would expect he'd be perfect for them. He played there, he knew the club, he had the aura, but instead, he turned it into an absolute disaster class. He took over Monaco with already struggling near the bottom of Ligue 1, and somehow they got even worse under Thierry Henry. Monaco were a mess, no defensive organization, no consistent tactics. He clashed with senior players. There were even stories about him publicly humiliating players in training. Here's a clip of him humiliating Badiashile. During matches at Monaco, he looked permanently stressed out, like he was realizing in real time that managing is a lot harder than standing up front bagging in goals. His record at Monaco was 4 wins out of 20 games. That's it. After just 3 months, Monaco pulled the plug, and just like that, they were like, thanks, no thanks, and sacked the hell out of him before he could drag them into League 2. After that, Henry would rebuild his rep in MLS coaching Montreal. He did a little bit better there, to be fair to him. He lasted a long time, but even then, there were nothing special, finishing 9th in the conference. Henry eventually left Montreal for family reasons because his family was in Europe and he was in North America for a long time. Last year, he also managed the French national team in the Olympics, finishing 2nd overall. So as a manager, I don't think Thierry Henry is a bad manager. I think tactically this man is better than everyone on this list. He's way superior than anybody on this list. His problem is man management. Just look at this clip right here.
Right. Well done, Louis, well done. Attack the ball. Xavi, can you pass it one touch? Then why don't you do it? Listen. 1, 2. You know he's there. 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I'm out now! Don't blame anyone else. You turned the wrong way. If you turn and you drive, you would have seen players here. Mason was there, Victor. No, don't scream. Mason was there. Mason, come in. You were there alone. Hamid, can you go behind him? Not in front of him. That's a football. That's a football run, man. Behind him. Dance! Let the ball come. Go on the ground. I'm on the ground. That's an easy one. Go man! Dentro! Maxi, arriba!
So as you can see, the problem is that he expects more from his players. He thinks that those players can play at his level, that everyone can play at his level, when that's not really the case. Not everyone is going to be world class like Thierry Henry. That is his biggest problem. If he can figure out man management, this guy will actually be a decent coach. Another example of being world class on the pitch doesn't automatically mean you'll be world class in the dugout. Sometimes the game doesn't translate no matter how big your name is. Well, let's talk about the last person on this list, one of the worst managers in world football right now. You might think I might say Frank Lampard. Well, believe it or not, I think Frank Lampard is a decent manager. He almost got Coventry into the Premier League. I don't think he's a bad manager. You might think I might say Steven Gerrard. Well, Steven Gerrard won a trophy with Rangers. He ended a trophy drought. The last person on this list is one of the worst managers of all time, but is a footballing legend, is Fergie's disciple. You don't got the hint? Okay, it's Fergie's son, Manchester United's all-time top scorer, Wayne Rooney. One of the fiercest competitors ever, Manchester United's record all-time scorer, an England hero, a proper icon of the Premier League era. But as a manager, let's just say it's been rough for Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney's coaching career started off with Derby County. On paper, it looked like the perfect fit. He was already there as a player coach. He had the name, he had the respect, he had the grit. But reality didn't care about all of that. He took over with Derby County hovering near relegation zone in the championship, and to be fair, he kept them afloat in his first season, just barely thanks to a draw in the final day. But after that, things spiraled down. The club went into administration, they got docked 21 points, and Wayne Rooney looked like a man trying to plug a sinking ship with his bare hands. During matches, he often looked exhausted. I mean, look at what Derby County did to this man. He aged about 40 years. To this day, I still don't know how Cristiano Ronaldo is older than this guy. This guy looks 75. How is he younger than Cristiano? In his second season, not to his fault, Derby County would get relegated after finishing 23rd. After Derby County, Wayne Rooney would jumpstart his coaching career in the MLS with DC United. He talked a big game about rebuilding the club, building a culture, and doing the typical managerial shit. But the results were underwhelming, and DC United would miss the playoff in his tenure. And Wayne Rooney would leave just over a year with no real progress to show it. Then came Birmingham City, a club with big ambitions, and somehow got worse under Wayne Rooney. Under Wayne Rooney, Birmingham City would only win 2 out of 15 games and lose 9, leaving Birmingham City in their relegation spot, and after less than 3 months, he would get sacked, and then he would pick up another job, the Plymouth job. On May 25th, 2024, Wayne Rooney became the new manager of Plymouth, and in his first game away, he would lose 4-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. On December 31st, 2024, with this team in last place and only 4 points away from safety, Wayne Rooney would get sacked from Plymouth. Brother Wayne, in life they say try new things out. Some things you're good at, some things you're bad at. Managing, you're not good at. Wayne Rooney, just leave the managerial job before the managerial job leaves you. Another example that being world class on the pitch doesn't automatically mean you'll be world class in the dugout. It doesn't translate. It does not translate at all. Now, to be fair to Wayne Rooney, I think Fergie's disciples are managerial and inept. Look at Paul Scholes. As a manager, trash. Roy Keane as a manager, trash. Gary Neville, Wayne Rooney. Anybody that's a Fergie disciple, there's a 90% chance that that player is going to be a trash manager. Alright, 90% hit rate. Now, obviously, there's a lot of legends who are trash managers that are not on this list. I mean, AC Milan legends are trash managers. Inzaghi, Seedorf, Pirlo. There's a lot of legends who are trash managers, alright? Let me talk about Edgar. I don't even know how I forgot about Edgar on this list. Edgar is the dumbest coach of all time. This man, you know what this man did? This man literally became a player coach of a non-league team, right? And he said, I'm gonna have the number 1. He took the number 1. He said, that's mine. And he also said he will not be going to away games. He said he will not be going to away games. That man is a living proof that you can't trust icons with the clipboard. How are you telling your team away games? Yeah, your assistant got y'all. I don't got y'all. Like, how do you do that? Anyways, this whole video is meant to say that world class on the pitch doesn't translate to being world class off the pitch. It's a whole different ball game, baby.